Well, good morning to those of you just waking up on the West Coast, and good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. To my folks in the Midwest, hope you're watching us and enjoying us over brunch. But to everyone watching, welcome to NewsNation Now digital streaming. I'm Rich Bodie. We're your place for long-form coverage of the day's biggest stories. And today we've been following several. First, Trump's mega bill in Congress. We also have your forecast for fireworks and a deadly shootout in Chicago. We'll begin, though, with the House Minority Speaker. You see him there, Hakeem Jeffries, still speaking on the House floor. He began that speech at 4:53 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, if you're keeping track, that's more than 7 hours at the podium. This move, as Republicans expect to vote on that bill today, largely seen as a stall tactic by Democrats. Jeffries, though, going through Republicans, name-checking them, calling them out for what he perceives as bias or conflicts, even telling stories of the people from their districts. The House Minority Speaker railed against cuts to Medicaid, SNAP benefits, and tax breaks for the wealthy. And we do know not all Republicans are on board with Trump's one big, beautiful bill. The president and House Speaker Mike Johnson still want that bill to pass and be on Trump's desk tomorrow, the 4th of July. That's been the president's self-imposed deadline for Congress. And though Democrats are in lockstep with their disapproval over the bill, they lack the votes to stop it. But remember, Republicans have 3 votes that they can lose and still pass the bill. Any more than that, and it sinks. Wednesday, we watched Democrats come to the steps of Capitol Hill, practically begging for Republican patriots, even invoking the late Senator John McCain to vote no. But right now, Jeffries holding up that vote, talking about what the Democratic Party stands for. The move, though, could backfire, could embolden some Republicans who are on the fence. The President and House Speaker are eagerly awaiting Jeffries to wrap up so that they can vote. But Jeffries still going strong. And again, we just crossed the threshold for 7 hours. There is no limit on how long Jeffries is allowed to speak. If Jeffries wraps up and a vote begins, we'll, of course, take you to Washington live for that. But we're also following what you can expect for the 4th of July. We have Max's weather forecast and the latest on gas prices. Many Americans traveling for the holiday weekend. And we'll even hear from an expert on staying safe for celebrations. Recall DHS warning of lone wolf style threats and attacks ahead of the festivities. You'll hear about that too. Plus, we're keeping a close eye on Chicago. Mayor Brandon Johnson is expected to address the media after a deadly shootout last night on the city's north side. 18 people were shot, 4 are dead after a drive-by shooting at a rapper's album release party at a North Side Chicago bar. That news conference is expected to start at noon. We'll take you to Chicago as soon as it does. But I want to begin today with a NewsNation exclusive. Wednesday, Bryan Kohberger said he was guilty of killing 4 University of Idaho college students in 2022. Ashley Banfield and Brian Enton exclusively interviewed Steve Goncalves, the father of Kaylee Goncalves, and the family attorney Shannon Gray. Steve reacting to that Wednesday hearing, speaking directly to his daughter, telling her he is sorry for letting Bill Thompson be the prosecutor in this case, which in turn led to Bryan Kohberger avoiding a trial and a possible death sentence. He also speaks directly to Bryan Kohberger, telling him he is sorry he couldn't have ended him. Steve said his family is so upset with the way the case has been handled that they are not planning on attending the next hearing where victims' impact statements will be read. Let's take a listen to that interview now. I don't know if you caught it at Wednesday's hearing, but the judge saying he wasn't even aware of the plea deal until Monday afternoon. No inkling of it. That was surprising, and thus the reason for an expedited hearing and plea agreement. We also heard a little bit of Bryan Kohberger's background at the hearing, his interest in crime scenes, even writing a paper on it, and serial killers. Kohberger pleaded guilty and admitted to breaking into the house and killing those 4 students. The question now is, will we ever know why? What was the motive? We know his former professor saying she kept waiting for an alibi that made sense, something Kohberger, given his background, would have been capable of understanding and presenting, but it just never came. It never came. And of course, Steve Goncalves there saying an impact statement is pointless. All right, let's take a quick break. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, you see him still speaking there on the floor. We'll keep monitoring that and have more news for you when we come back.